Hey everybody, I wanted to introduce you to Juan Castro. He's a title rep. He makes sure your title's taken care of, that everything's tip-top shape on your title, that the home actually belongs to you. There's no extra stuff there that you owe money or someone did a refi without you knowing. So that's his job, and I wanted him to talk to you about Proposition 8. So that's our first topic here.
Yeah, so Proposition 8 is an application from the county assessor's office for decline of reassessment, or decline of value, excuse me. And what Proposition 8 does, it allows you to turn in an application. The form is pretty self-explanatory, and in that process of it, they do require a couple things. You have to do it before March of every year, okay? And the comparables, they got to come to you, and you could get them comparables, fill out the form, and submit it. And it's at no charge. You can do it every year, and within a couple of weeks, you will get a response from the county saying whether they approve your decline of reassessment or decline it. And what that would do is basically, if they lower it, then you pay a lower tax bill. So
how is this different from 13? Because that was 13 before, right?
great question. 13 is California Constitution back in 1978. Don't quote me on that, but it's a long time ago. And what they did is the county could only reassess you on an annual basis about 1.25%. So that was Proposition 13. It still exists. I think us in California, with our prices going up so high, it's definitely something we really appreciate. And I don't think we've ever discussed eliminating it, because I think California will have an uproar, to be honest with you. So Proposition 13 is an assessment done from the county every year, and they can only go up 1.25%. Okay.
So can you talk about the death and transfer?
Yeah, death and transfer. The county assessors requires you, any death of ownership, so if it's on a trust, a joint tenancy, tenants in common, they require that within 150 days of the death that you file the notice of the death. The reason why they want to have that transfer on the chain of title, and there's certain requirements like a death certificate and things of that nature. The form itself is pretty self-explanatory, but one of the things that most people don't do is actually notify the county if there's a death. They kind of wait for either a taxman or a CPA to help them out, or in many cases till they even sell the house. And it could have been 3-4 years ago. The challenge is the county does have the right to penalize you, and so that's what we're trying to avoid. So if you do have a death in the family, call Liza, call me, and we'll help you out with that form. Okay.
So also wanted to see if we can talk about easements and encroachments.
Yeah. So as you mentioned earlier, what I do in title, our job is really to provide a history of the property and then provide a report. It's our opinion of what actually is affected by the property. And a lot of the things in the report, what you'll see is easements. Easements that we are very familiar with would be utility easements and what we call ingress and egress. So you will see on our opinion where the utility poles are at, gas lines, water lines, things of that nature, even mineral rights, if there is any, we'll disclose them. Now, all these easements run with the property. They are not to be removed. You cannot remove them in many circumstances. So they run with the property, and you will be inheriting those easements.
Let me clarify.
Sure.
So the easements where somebody has a right to come into your property, so they can go through the driveway, or they can pass through your front yard, or maybe they can go through the backyard. And you have to make it accessible for them. Like
Right.
if there is a utility, the utility company has a right to come through your property, go to the backyard, and check their.
And you're right, easements are the access, it's the rights of that property, and you'll see them on all your properties. Rarely do we see a property that doesn't have them. Encroachments are the opposite. Encroachments are things that are not easements, that are actually your home or another home is either encroaching upon you or you're doing the encroaching. What type of things are encroachments? Fences could be an encroachment. Structures can be an encroachment. So these are things that we ascertain from either physical inspection or from records that we have. Lenders don't want to see encroachments. Let's just give you a scenario. Let's say a garage is leaning over and it's encroaching onto your property. Guess what needs to be done?
It needs to be not removed, but pushed back